And we are back on Open Line here with Kevin Kennedy. If you're just tuning in, we're glad to have you along. Kevin, of course, from the Kennedy Law Firm, one of the top law firms in the state of Tennessee. You guys have been doing what you're doing for over 34 years.
Yes,
just
come
amazing.
on now.
Yeah.
It'll date you, but you know, with that comes some experience. And I like to tell people, your experience will protect you. And so daddies learn, mamas learn, your experience will protect you. And you say, kids, why did you do that? And I submit to you, there wasn't enough preaching and teaching going on because we know they don't know.
I'm just looking for the book, Kevin.
Book.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, we appreciate you calling in. We appreciate your patience. We are going right back to the lines. We're going to go to Alan right now. Alan, we're glad that you're joining us this evening. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm going to get a little Jerry Springer on you here.
Come on, let's hear it.
Okay. Robertson County, they take a local snitch or local informant around here, and they run her through informing on a drug task force, and she's going around and buying pills and drugs from different drug dealers and everything, which is good and fine. I mean, that's what she does. So anyway, she goes around, probably 20, 25 people get arrested. But now their informant is a local drug dealer herself.
Yes.
She's a very pretty girl.
Yep.
And she's a local drug dealer herself. So she gets about 20 sealed indictments come down, and I happen to have a son. He's a dummy, and he had one put on him.
All right.
Okay, and but my question, I guess, is this: like 25 people she goes around and she buys drugs from. Now, my son, he was on drug pills real bad. He's been off for about a year and a half. He takes some boxes. Real proud of him, real good, the whole 9 yards. But she comes around and sees him, talks to him, He winds up selling her a couple here and there. Now, had she not ever come around, had she not tried to buy him 2 or 3 times before he actually sold her one, then, you know, he never would have sold it to her. Now, justice is going to be served. He's going to go to court, and he needs to get whatever he needs to get out of it.
Yes.
We don't get to pick and choose which laws that we can, you know, obey. But it just seems, I heard somebody talking in passing, and they were saying something, a case where they had a local informant who had done this.
Yeah.
And really what the police were doing, and actually what the police were doing by having, what she was getting out of this was the money and the cash flow to keep her drug habit afloat. And her drug business afloat.
What is classic?
Now, she's going down the road. She happens to get pulled over herself one day, and they took her to jail for, I guess, no license, whatever. For the following day in jail, they find 9 grams of meth on her in jail. So, is there any?
Here's the classic example.
In his case, he never would have sold her none had she not continued to come over. And like I said, she's a pretty girl on top of that.
And Alan, I hate to rush you, but we've got so many calls. So
let me just address just a little bit to you and go. It sounds like it's a classic case of entrapment, where the police go out and they set him up, whether this is a beautiful girl or not, and for whatever reason she talks him into doing this, where otherwise he would not have participated in that criminal activity. So you've got a fighting chance of entrapment as a defense to try to get away from this. My experience also, if it were one of my children that was involved, and drugs can happen to anybody's home at any time, so never say never about that. But it's good if he's a young and he's caught, because you can intervene and try to break it. I believe you can break drug addicts and alcohol at 20. I believe you can break it at 30. But I'll tell you what, when you get to 40, my experience dictates you can hardly break it if you ever can. So thank you for your call, and I'd pursue that entrapment defense for my son.
Okay, well, good to know. So we appreciate that. Thank you very much, Alan. We're going back to the lines right now. So William is on the line with us. William, we're glad that you called in this evening. Do you have a question or comment?
Yes, I have been having a problem trying to sue the company, the invention company, and it's hard to find a lawyer. All the lawyers around here are for injury lawyers. Why can't I get a lawyer that can sue these companies that set up a scam so they can get people money?
Okay, one of the problems that we have so many times on these scammers, that they are outside of the United States, and they are masters of deceit and deceiving the public. So that creates a real problem. If they if they scammed you, it's probably a crime against the state of Tennessee, and you could go to the district attorney. If the district attorney could find them and arrest them, they would make as a part of that punishment restitution. So you really wouldn't have to sue. They would catch them and say, you need to pay their $500 back, their $1,000 back as part of their criminal sentence. What I would pursue is the Tennessee Consumer Affairs. Try to get the government lawyers to try to assist you. So many private lawyers would probably be reluctant to get involved because they know they can't get them, hardly get to them if they're in India, Uganda, or whatever. And even if you find them, the money's already gone. So that creates a problem. So this is a good time to say caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. And how do you deal with these? Get some other people's opinion. We had one who had lost $300,000. Say it again, Chuck. How much?
$300,000.
And it's gone for how long, Chuck? It's gone forever. And it's very sad, and got some family money, and it's gone forever. So those are a couple of sources I would implore you to entertain.
Okay, well, we appreciate that. And William, we appreciate your call as well. All right, again, the phone's very busy, so we're going right back to them. So Charles is on the line with us. Charles, welcome back. And do you have a question or another comment? Are you with us, Charles?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question.
Sure.
I had a person hit me at my car on a private property. But we didn't call the police to fill out a report. Is there any way I could take him to the small claims court or anything to have him pay for the damage of the car?
Yes, you could do that. And again, I think you could still go to the police and have a report done. You didn't have it done simultaneously with the wreck, but you could still probably go to the police and have that reported. And yes, absolutely, you can go file small claims and pursue it and get a judgment. Hopefully, the guy's got insurance who hit you, and you may just have to make a claim against his insurance, and you can negotiate and get that settled. And the word to the wise, call the police. Call the police. Everybody says, hey, dude, I'm going to pay you. I don't have a driver's license. Call the police. Hey, I've got insurance. Don't have my car. Don't get me arrested tonight. Call the police.
And a lot of times I think people even say, oh, well, I don't have time. I'll settle with you and that sort of thing.
Yes.
But again, your advice is call the police. Let them handle that. So, all right. So, Charles, thanks for the call. And Lisa is on the line with us. Lisa, we're glad you're here. And do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
A question.
Okay, go ahead.
How are you?
Great.
Colin, I have a nephew that is 25 years old, and he has a son that is 6 years old, and he has a girlfriend. They don't live together. He still lives at home. She still lives at home, and he pays child support. She don't work. But her parents claim that child on their income tax. Is there a reason why he can't claim that child?
The truth of the matter is he needs a parenting plan. He probably needs a paternity order. Now, you know, just because you put your name on a birth certificate, that does not establish the paternity of that child. If he doesn't have a court order, he needs one, and he needs to.
They went to court for child support, and he, you know, to pay that. He does, but she doesn't work. But he went to claim it on his income tax, and her mother's like, well, he can't do that because he don't live with him, but he takes care of him, and they're still a couple, but she lives at home and he lives at home.
Okay.
I mean, the baby is his. We know that.
What he really needs is a parenting plan, and that will spell out his visitation, spell out what he has to pay, and it'll also spell out who claims the child for income tax exemption. And if he's paying child support, the court usually gives that to the father, not the grandfather.
Okay, so good to know. So, Lisa, I hope that helps to know that. We've got a lot of you calling in. We are going to need to take a break. Hold on the lines with us. If you are thinking about that question, get online with us. 737-7587 is the number. So we'll take a break and more Open Line when we return.
Right back.